How we doing, guys? Welcome to DT's Daily. Now, on today's show, we're going to take a look at the back pages and what is going on in the world of football. And the last piece of news involves Arsenal because reports are suggesting that Borussia Dortmund have made an inquiry about Matteo Guendouzi.
I represent my fucking self.
How we doing, guys? Welcome to DT's Daily. That's right.
So, of course, first place, we're going to start at the back pages and loads going on in football and so many stories. Now, of course, the Euros as well. And Denmark, they played yesterday. First game since the incident involving Christian Eriksen. And I'll tell you something, in that first half against Belgium, they done him proud. He would have been sitting there watching that and thinking, wow, what a performance. But when you're able to bring somebody like Kevin De Bruyne on at half time, it's always going to be difficult. And he was the man that made the difference. An assist, a goal, and Belgium were able to turn that one around. But Denmark, they can be very, very proud of that performance. And, you know, sticking with Christian Eriksen, there was news yesterday that he's actually going to be fitted with like it's like a monitor, a heart, like starter. I can't remember the exact wording for it, but what this will mean is that he can probably play again. I believe Daily Blind has one. Kanu, when he was actually playing for Arsenal, had heart problems and had some, device fitted. You'll have to let me know in the comment section the exact wording for it and what the actual, details of it are. But I did see that briefly mentioned yesterday, and he realizes that he needs to have this if he wants to play football again. Some people will say he's absolutely mad for wanting to play football again. But yeah, it's one of those, and I suppose, no one's going to go near him unless he has this in place. And I can't imagine it not being safe. And like I said, with the likes of Daily Blind and Kanu in the past, and I'm sure there's other footballers out there or other athletes. Maybe you can let me know in the comment section if this has happened, in other sports throughout the world. And there's somebody with this similar device fitted that allows them to continue the sport. But yeah, it's good to see that he's on his way to recovery, that's for sure. We're going to go with the Daily Mail. Arsenal have made James Maddison one of their main transfer targets as they pursue a creative midfielder to replace Martin Ødegaard, because it looks like he's going to be staying at Real Madrid. Arsenal are amongst the clubs chasing Porto's Jesus Corona this summer. Tottenham are targeting a summer move for Brighton right back Tariq Lamptey, but Brighton want £50 million. And sticking with Spurs, news that broke yesterday, it looked like they had their man. Their new manager was in place, Paulo Fonseca, the former Roma manager, but it looks like that is now off. Something has happened at the very last minute, and from reports it's suggesting that it's to do with money, not how much he's being paid, but how much he will have available to try and strengthen Spurs. They're going to be in a mess for years to come, moving into their new stadium, COVID and everything else. It's just the worst possible time for them, and they're probably going to need to sell and sell big to raise any kind of funds for a new manager. And you know what that means? It means losing Harry Kane. But then out of the blue, just after that, the name that's in the hat is Gattuso. Like, where on earth has that come from? Former AC Milan. He was Fiorentina manager, I believe it was, for 2 weeks. Something along them lines. This is just Spurs to a T, isn't it? And apparently he could be the new manager. Now, I've spoken to Spurs fans, and you only have to go and look online at, Spurs supporters' comments, and they ain't happy at all. They are just sitting there scratching their head thinking, what on earth is going on? They've gone from possibly getting Conte to Fonseca to Gattuso. It's staggering. Rafa Benitez has held further talks with Everton and is now expecting to receive an offer to become their new manager. Now, I've mentioned this, I think it was yesterday, and Evertonians are not too happy because, of course, he is a former Liverpool man, and they just ain't happy about it. They're just looking at it and thinking this isn't really what we want. But yeah, we'll wait and see whether that one happens. I think that will, to be fair. Cristiano Ronaldo's Coca-Cola snub saw the soft drink giants take a 2.4 billion hit on the stock exchange. But UEFA won't be taking action against the Portugal superstar. Of course they're not going to be taking action. And I've seen a lot of reports as well saying that Coca-Cola was, dropping in the stock, exchange before Ronaldo even did this. But whatever it is. Italy suffered a potentially huge blow with an injury to captain Chiellini, forcing the talismanic captain off against Switzerland. That'd be a big blow for them if they lose him, that's for sure. This next story, which is not a great story, and you hope that something doesn't actually come of this, or it's not going to be anything that we see throughout this tournament, with the games in so many different locations in different countries. But a suspected car bomb has been found attached to a local official's vehicle in Rome, sparking an alert ahead of Italy's Euro 2020 game in the city. That is not great. Attached to a local official's vehicle. That is not good at all. And like I said, this is very different, this Euros, because it's not located in one country. It's all over the country. You've got games in England to, Denmark to Italy, and just all over the place. And given the situation and, the year or so that everybody's had, this would just be the last thing that anybody needs. And it would be an absolute travesty, especially if people lost their lives as well from something so mindless as that. We'll wait and see whether any more news comes of that. Real Madrid are considering trying to exploit Arsenal's interest in Martin Ødegaard by asking for attacking midfielder Emil Smith-Rowe in exchange. It's a random one, isn't it? Don't know where that one's come from. Really weird one. The Daily Telegraph. Aston Villa have seen a £25 million bid for Emil Smith-Rowe rejected, but they have signed former England international and former player Ashley Young. It's going to be an interesting one. He had a good season at Inter Milan, he's back at Aston Villa. He's been away for a decade, and it'd be interesting to see how he gets on. Footballers are to be offered an alternative to taking the knee under plans to end the toxic standoff between players and fans over the gesture. The government has warned that any further delay to easing of lockdown restrictions could leave the full restart of the grassroots. Oh my God, what is a rugby thing doing in here again? Seriously. Oh mate. I swear they're putting this in just for the banter, innit? It's like, they're saying that it could leave a full restart of the grassroots rugby game next season on a knife edge. For all you rugby fans, there you go again. I need to proofread these before I start reading them out. See, look, you know what? I'm glad I see that, because the next headline is about Wimbledon, the tennis. What? Oh, mate. It is what it is. Listen, let's go and get into the last piece of news. Bit of a strange one, this. But Borussia Dortmund have reported to have initiated contact with Arsenal over a shock signing of unwanted midfielder Matteo Guendouzi. Now, of course, it's very obvious that Guendouzi is surplus to requirements at Arsenal. But as far as I was aware, a week or 2 weeks ago, he was, nearly signing for Marseille. But yeah, I don't know what that one's about. I don't know where that's come from. It's obviously not gone ahead at the moment with Marseille. But apparently Borussia Dortmund are very interested and want some competition for places with Jude Bellingham. I think a club like Borussia Dortmund would be really good for a Guendouzi. Young lad, still so much potential. It's just his attitude that's let him down. I genuinely thought when he burst onto the scene at Arsenal, we could have a midfielder there for the next decade. Unless you sold him. Somebody that just looked like somebody that you were missing. And there's never been any doubt in his talent. It's just the attitude. And it's not an attitude that he's had only at Arsenal under Mikel Arteta. He had problems even with Unai Emery. He had problems at Lorient before he joined Arsenal. He had problems when he went out on loan to the Bundesliga. It just seems to be a problem with Matteo Guendouzi. Maybe as he gets older, he grows up a little bit and, you know, that kind of stuff doesn't happen anymore. Because potentially he could be an unbelievable player. But there's many a player out there that could be unbelievable and their attitudes have, you know, ruined their careers. But yeah, Borussia Dortmund want to have, you know, Guendouzi, a little bit less than the 12 million asking price that Arsenal are looking for. I still think that's quite cheap, to be fair. Who could we exchange with? Well, we already know the kind of players that Dortmund have got, but we got no chance of getting them. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens with Guendouzi. So there we go. That is it for today's DT's Daily. As usual, let me know in the comment section what you think about today's topics. If you're new around here, hit the subscribe button, smash a like on this video, and I will see you lot soon. I'm out of here.